Hey everyone, welcome back to Coffee Crime with Doncha. Guys, this is episode number 9. I am so glad you are spending your time with me again today. Grab your favorite cup and let's jump straight into it. Before we start, a quick reminder, if you enjoy listening every week, please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe or follow button on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Leaving a 5-star review helps more people to find the show, know about these cases, and I really appreciate it. Also, if you know, English is not my first language, so please be kind to me. Before we begin, here is your trigger warning. Today's episode discusses the disappearance of minor, child sexual abuse, predator behavior, suicide, and domestic endangerment. If these topics are hard for you to listen, please feel free to skip this episode and take of yourself, please. Today we are discussing a case from Czech Republic, so I will be using, of course, Czech names. So if you do not understand, please leave a comment and I will explain to you. So today we are going back to January 2017 to the town of Ústí nad Labem in the northern part of Czech Republic. We are looking into the disappearance of a 12-year-old Michaela Patricia Muzikářová, known to everyone as Míša, so I will be talking about Míša. I will be also using this name. So Míša vanished on a cold winter morning on her short walk to school. It became one of the most covered missing child cases in Czech history, leaving behind dark secrets, police mistakes, and an investigation that ended abruptly when the prime suspect died. Alright, you guys. Take a sip of your coffee and let's get into it. I am Doncha and this is Coffee Crime with Doncha, the disappearance of Míša Muzikářová. So to understand this case, let's look at who 12-year-old Míša was and where she lived. Míša was born on February 5th, 2004. In January 2017, she was nearly 30 years old and attended the 6th grade at the elementary school on České Mládeže Street in Ústí nad Labem. Míša was about 160 centimeters tall, slim with grey-blue eyes and short long brown wavy hair. She wore glasses with purple frames. She lived with her mother, Eva, in the modest apartment block. Her biological father was not allowed contact with Míša by her mother, so Míša grew up mostly around her mother and her grandmother, who spent a lot of time taking care of her. Her mother worked long 12-hour shifts as a factory worker. Online and in public, her mother was known as a controversial character. On Facebook, she used the name Eva Braun. As you probably know, this was the name of Adolf Hitler's wife. And she posted far-right racist content and pictures praising Hitler. So when people later criticized her, friends claimed she just posted extreme things to impress tough men in local pubs. Like, why would you do that? Oh my God. Anyway, Míša herself was a quiet girl. She liked handball, knitting, and hanging out with her school friends. But home life wasn't easy for her. Her mother had been dating a 38-year-old man named Otakar S for about 3 years. Otakar came to stay at their apartment on weekends, but Míša openly disliked him. Whenever Otakar arrived, Míša would usually leave the house to stay with her grandmother. Shortly before her disappearance, Míša wrote a single honest post on her Facebook page. I hate them, Mom and him. She didn't even want to type his name. Now let's look at the timeline of Tuesday, January 10th and Wednesday, January 11th, 2017. So on Tuesday evening, January 10th, Míša was active on her Facebook account around 9 p.m. That was her last confirmed activity on her phone. Her mother came home late that night from her shift. She assumed Míša was asleep in her bedroom, but she didn't open the door or checked inside. At 5 a.m. on Wednesday, January 11th, her mother left the apartment for another 12-hour work shift. Again, she didn't look into Míša's bedroom, assuming the girl was still sleeping before school. Míša's elementary school was about 400 meters away from her apartment block. It was about 5 to 7 minutes walk down familiar street. On that cold, snowy Wednesday morning, Míša dressed for school. She wore a knee-length quilted winter coat, dark leggings, black winter boots with white fur, her purple glasses, and carried a pink Nike backpack. When school started, Míša was not in her seat. But because her mother was at work and nobody called the parents immediately, no one realized Míša was missing all day. Her mother returned home from work around 4 p.m. When she opened Míša's room and found it empty, she realized her daughter had never made it to school. I don't know how and why, but anyway. At 4:50 p.m. on Wednesday, January 11th, Eva, her mother, went to the police station to report her 12-year-old daughter missing. By then, Míša had been gone for at least 9 hours, if not longer. When 12-year-old vanishes, time is everything, right? The first hours are crucial. Police immediately launched a major search operation. Patrol cars searched the streets, sniffer dogs were brought in, and police in protective suits searched Míša's apartment block from the basement to the attic. They checked trash dumpsters, nearby woods, and reviewed security cameras. Over 300 people were interviewed, and media across the country published Míša's picture. When media outlets started sharing the story to find Míša, her mother surprisingly reacted with anger. She posted on social media, "No media, they just want to profit off someone else's misery." Then came the issue of Míša's mobile phone. Initially, the mother told police that Míša didn't take her phone to school and that it was missing. But 3 days after Míša's disappearance, her mother walked into the police station and handed officers Míša's phone. She claimed she had just found it slipped behind the sofa in the living room. Police soon found out that was a complete lie. The mother later admitted under pressure that Otakar S had given her Míša's phone after Míša disappeared. He told her, "Here is her phone. Tell the police you found it behind the couch." And then she followed his instructions without telling the police the truth right away. Because of his connection to the family and his strange behavior, police turned their full focus on Otakar S. Otakar was 38 years old and worked for a construction company near Plzeň. In his youth, he suffered a severe electrical shock injury that resulted in the amputation of his left arm. Despite having only one arm, he was physically strong, lifted weights, and operated heavy machinery like excavators. He lived near Plzeň and drove to Ústí nad Labem on weekends to visit Míša's mother in his Mazda 626. As police investigated his background, a disturbing picture emerged. First, a week after Míša vanished, Otakar's ex-wife contacted police and journalists. She revealed that years earlier, Otakar had sexually abused her 13-year-old daughter, his own stepdaughter. The ex-wife didn't report it to police back then because Otakar suddenly packed his bags and left her. Second, police discovered that Otakar was already facing criminal charges. A year before Míša disappeared, Otakar created a fake Facebook profile pretending to be a young boy to groom a 13-year-old girl, who happened to be a close friend of Míša. He picked the girl up in his car, drove her around Ústí nad Labem, offered her vodka, alcohol, touched her inappropriately, and offered her 2,000 Czech crowns for sex. Oh my god, what a psycho. Psycho. That girl reported him to police. Míša had actually been interviewed as a witness in that case because she knew both the victim and Otakar. In December 2016, just 2 weeks before Míša disappeared, prosecutors officially filed a file against the Otakar for child sexual abuse. And there was more. Míša's mother later told police that around Christmas 2016, Otakar gave both her and Míša tea spiked with sleeping pills. While they were unconscious, he turned off the electricity and turned on the gas in the apartment. Otakar was a dangerous predator and he was cornered by the upcoming court trial. 2 weeks into the investigation, a specialized tracking dog from German police was brought in to follow Míša's scent from her front door. The dog tracked Míša's scent along the pavement toward the school, but right in the middle of the route, the scent abruptly stopped. This led investigation to clear the deduction. Míša did not walk all the way to the school. She got into a car midway, either willingly because she recognized the driver or by force. Police questioned Otakar S multiple times. Otakar claimed he was at the apartment near Plzeň on Wednesday, January 11th, and had nothing to do with Míša's disappearance. To support his alibi, his mobile phone signal stayed registered to his home near Plzeň all day, but that doesn't mean anything. He could probably leave his phone there. Anyway, however, traffic cameras told a complete different story, as I told you. When detectives checked highway cameras, they spotted Otakar Mazda 626 driving from Plzeň to Ústí nad Labem on the morning of January 11th and then driving back toward Plzeň. He had deliberately left his phone behind in Plzeň to create a fake alibi, as I already told you. Idiot. On January 15th, just 4 days after Míša vanished, Otakar attempted suicide in his car in a forest near Plzeň. He was found drunk, taken to a psychiatric facility, but released shortly after when he claimed it was just a misunderstanding. On January 30th, 2017, 19 days after Míša disappeared, police brought Otakar in for another long, intense interrogation and a polygraph test. Pathologists noted the polygraph showed strong physical reactions when he was asked about drugging Míša. That same evening, inside his rented apartment near Plzeň, 30-year-old Otakar S committed suicide by hanging. He left 2 suicide notes. In the notes, he complained about police pressure and media attention, but he did not confess to what he did to Míša. With the prime suspect dead, the criminal investigation hit a legal wall. Under Czech law, you cannot prosecute a deceased person. However, months later, official police documents leaked to media, revealing what detectives concluded actually happened. So first, physical evidence in the car. When police searched Otakar Mazda 626, they found Míša's school supplies, her compass and scissors inside the trunk. Second, DNA evidence. Forensics found Otakar's semen on clean clothes inside Míša's bedroom. Third, police conclusion. Detectives concluded that on the morning of January 11th, Otakar ambushed Míša on her way to school. He lured her into his car, likely intending to sexually assault her or keep her quiet about his past abuse. Fourth, cause of death. Police believe Otakar gave Míša a heavy dose of sleeping medication, which accidentally caused a fatal overdose, or he killed her during a struggle. But we don't know because the body was never found. Number 5, disposal of the body. Investigators concluded he had Míša's body somewhere along the route between Ústí nad Labem and Plzeň before his first police interview at 3:15 a.m. on January 12. Police searched around the area, a former military area, but there was nothing ever found. Search teams checked ponds, forests, and in April 2021 even drained a septic tank near Plzeň, but Míša's body was never found till this day. In September 2017, the police officially shelved the case. Míša's name remained in the official missing person database as an unsolved case, a police monument, so-called in a Czech law. This case is, guys, so frustrating because the person responsible took the location of Míša's body to his grave, depriving her family of closure. We do not know what happened exactly. All these things was just a speculation and police reconstructions of the day what could possibly happen. Also, a body was never found, so this case is still unsolved. It is a painful example of how predators operate in plain sight and how small details like a missed check in the morning or a delayed phone report can give a criminal the time they need to cover their tracks. But unfortunately, we will never find out what happened because this psychopath took his own life. Guys, I would like to hear your thoughts on this case. What stood out to you most about the investigation into Míša's disappearance? Please let's talk in the comments. If you found this episode informative, please share it with a friend. Leave a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or on YouTube. Please make sure you subscribe so we can spread this to the wider audience. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today. Look out for one another, stay safe, keep your coffee warm, and I will see you next time for episode number 10. Bye guys.